we are SYNLawn Utah. We are your official providers of the SYNLawn artificial grass product in the state of Utah. And that is a new agreement we have as of this year. So we are officially kind of running with SYNLawn in the state of Utah. And we have Jake Sane here with us from SYNLawn Corporate all the way out in Georgia. Thank you for being here with us, Jake.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a great visit. Yeah, it's been awesome to be here. Utah's beautiful, and you guys are doing some good stuff, so thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
so
sure.
kind of just to give our background, so my family has been in the landscaping industry since I was born, pretty much. It's been a lifelong legacy in the Doyle family to be landscapers. Yeah. So my brother got into it. He was actually doing really high-end homes, like their maintenance at their houses. And my dad has a really high-end landscaping company here in Utah. And that gave us a really unique perspective, because my dad's out doing landscaping bids in Utah. Like every day he's out going meeting with people, selling them really cool landscaping jobs. And he started to notice the trend of how many people really started requesting, hey, I want artificial grass. And,
yeah.
But we've had a huge transition here in Utah, because just this past year there's been so much news about we are realistically looking at the potential of the Great Salt Lake completely drying up, at the trend we are going with how much water consumption we're having.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really cool, because we have that landscaping background, and I probably would have never joined the landscaping industry, but kind of what got me to stay in is the marketability behind the SYNLawn product. I just really love the SYNLawn brand and the SYNLawn name, and we came out to Georgia and got to meet you guys, and really were just so impressed with the brand. It's not. I mean, we had researched so many artificial grass companies, and now all of a sudden we're seeing a brand that stands out kind of above them all. And that's kind of my marketing background that really really made me want to go all in with SYNLawn.
I mean, it absolutely was tied, just bringing SYNLawn to the table. And I mean, we were doing research. We were looking at different types of turf, figuring out what would be best.
Yeah.
And you know, it was every time I'd show up, we'd have a different box of turf here, and we'd have a different, samples, and we were just, oh, this sample puts this to shame. This is so much better than all this stuff. And then we got SYNLawn, and it's like everything was just
kind of checked all the boxes, right?
It did.
Man, it put everything to shame, just cast a huge shadow.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with our manufacturing process. So we do everything in Dalton, Georgia. You guys have seen the facility.
It's
massive. Yep, and it starts with what we like to call our DNA. So that's the very beginning. That's where all of the little bells and whistles that we put into the turf start there, into the actual the pellets that we use to extrude the yarn. So into that goes all the technology, So our super yarn technology. That's where all of that the good stuff goes into it there, and then literally in one building you're going from the pellets to rolls of turf going out the door. So it's fascinating, but we get to control that.
Totally. And I wanted to go back a little bit with super yarn specifically, and kind of break down what that means. Like, what are the components that make up of the super yarn? Because I feel like that's some it's just things that you wouldn't know, right?
Right. Yeah. So we've got the antimicrobial built into it. We've got the UV protection built into it, sanitize built into it, and then also on the back of the turf you've got our soy-based backing, our green soy-based backing, which we've got a great relationship with the soy farmers of America, the USDA. We're USDA approved turf, the only turf that's USDA approved, which is huge for us, right?
Massive.
So that gets us in a lot of doors, but Yeah, so the Super Yarn is something that we came out with 2 years ago and has really taken off. It's our flagship turf. Like just like an Apple iPhone has their flagship phones, that we have flagship turf, and that's it. It really is the luxury brand turf out of everything that's out there. We're not afraid to say that we are a step ahead of everybody else, I think. So, and you guys know, you guys saw it, so
when you experience it, it's clearly like there's nothing else I would rather get for my house. There's nothing that looks this good, that feels this good. So that became very obvious. And all the, like you're saying, that it's a plant-based artificial grass. Like the marketability behind it and everything is just such a step above the rest.
Yeah, and let's not forget we've got the sugar cane in our thatch as well. So we're supporting these farms that produce the soybeans and the sugar cane, and we're 100% recyclable, and we're committed to our sustainability and having a very low impact on the environment. You mentioned earlier about the Great Salt Lake, possibly drying up, and especially out west here, Utah and California and Nevada, it's a serious concern, right? And I hate that we have to see that, to think that we're going to see that in our lifetimes. These huge lakes drying up, and it's terrible to think about. But on the other hand, it's good to provide a solution that we can kind of help try to curb that before it happens. So that's where artificial turf comes in. No watering, no mowing. It's good stuff. Especially out here, out west, where you guys really need it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We did a little in-house math experiment of figuring out how much water you could save by switching over to turf.
Yeah.
And what was it? 3 months you could fill a swimming pool just from your sprinkler water.
Yeah, so we're looking at it like the average, if all the houses that have grass got rid of their grass, they could all get a pool.
Yeah.
And we would save more water.
Save more
in
water
Utah
if they had a pool.
than everyone having a pool,
and
because
watering their grass. Yeah.
people are putting so much water on their grass, and there's actually no real benefit to the grass itself from the reason we want plants and trees in the first place, because it helps the air quality.
Yeah.
There's really no air quality benefit by the time you're fertilizing it, you're mowing it every week. And the biggest thing, all the wasted water, that how much of that water could have gone towards planting more trees or whatever.
Yeah.
And
could have stayed in the lake so it doesn't dry up.
Exactly.
Very true.
Absolutely. Yeah.
See, and I think I wanted to ask you too about the stat block technology with stat block and why that matters.
Yeah, the static. Yeah, I skipped over that one. The static. That's really important when it comes to the main aspect, I guess, would be for kids, and especially ones that have like the cochlear implants. They can really be affected by static discharge. And so that's one of the big selling points for the anti-static, especially for those kids that play on that turf. So that's one of the big selling points for playground applications.
So you're saying if I have a son and he's out playing, he's got one of those cochlear implants, and he's out playing, and it's not SYNLawn, it's not something that has that stat block in it, it could create enough electricity while he's shuffling around playing whatever to actually short that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's it's those technologies you just don't think about.
Yeah,
in turf, right? You think, it's just green carpet, right?
Yeah.
And it's so much more than that.
So much more than that, and that's something that probably might be rare to happen. But
sure,
if if you know 100% that it's not going to happen, then why not? Do it that way. Right. So,
for all playgrounds, why would they not want, something that will resist static?
Yeah, absolutely. And antimicrobial is the biggest thing, because everybody knows kids are dirty folk, right?
Oh yeah,
They can be.
Yeah.
So we do tons of playgrounds all over the country, and people absolutely, they just love the product, and especially the super yarn, and all of the good selling points that it has, and it's second to none.
So you mentioned you had worked in the carpet industry as well, right? Is that right?
Yeah. It's hard to get away from in Dalton. Yeah.
Carpet capital of the world. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, one of the takes that's interesting for me is how it, some people do refer to it as kind of like outdoor carpet, but there really is, when it comes to artificial grass, there's so much innovation constantly happening, and especially at SYNLawn, kind of comparatively to carpet, where it's just indoor most of the time, and like it doesn't necessarily need all that innovation and education behind it. But with artificial grass, it really is something. If you're considering getting artificial grass, you really should. It's not just like, hey, let's go pick out some outdoor carpet. Yeah, you really, you're not just getting carpet for your home. You're getting a product that many of these products do have, some chemicals that might not be good for you, that you might really not want if you don't know where it's coming from, if you don't know where it's manufactured. Yes. And that is one thing that SYNLawn, you can always feel safe knowing. Like
that's a really good point that you bring that up, because a lot of people are worried about PFAs. And we have the testing. We have no PFAs in our turf. Those are the forever chemicals that people hear about, and it's bad stuff, And you were saying, the turf industry has evolved so much in the past 20 years, or even longer. Speaking of, this is SYNLawn's 20th anniversary. Yeah. This year, 2023, the first SYNLawn location opened up in Nevada in 2003. So this is our anniversary year. But over that course of time, the technology has advanced so much. So this is, like you said, it's not just that gross, weird green-looking outdoor carpet stuff that people used to put on their patios for whatever reason. You literally have a turf for every application now. We have systems for schools. We have certain things that we would use for rooftops. We literally can meet any kind of need that somebody has. You got 3 big husky dogs. Your backyard, we've got something for that they're not gonna scratch up. They're not gonna get muddy. It's not gonna hurt them. There's no bad chemicals, no PFAs in it that's gonna mess with them. It's easy to clean up. So we've got a turf for literally everything, and the technology, like you said, is just leaps and bounds, and it's only getting better. There's still a lot more to come. So
yeah. So I mean, if you're ever curious, you can. We can provide you with the extensive testing that SYNLawn loves to do. That's one of the things that I was really impressed with early on as well, is like all of these different tests that you guys we got to actually see at the factory where they're doing these tests on the durability of the product. And even, we won't mention what company, but prior to coming to Dalton, we were pretty sure we were going to go with a certain brand, because we knew we were getting into the artificial grass industry. We just didn't know we were going to end up choosing SYNLawn. And the very brand we were looking into, like some of their products, SYNLawn had done testing to show, like, here's why something they're selling as a positive thing about theirs actually going to really negatively harm a project that, like, very quickly down the road. Like, someone's not going to want that and they're going to need to replace it. Yeah. But you're being sold through marketing this thing that is good for you, and it's really like going to cause a lot of issues for you down the road. SYNLawn is already doing that research for you and providing us with that information. So.
We are the most tested turf company out there, and that's no lie. Like we've got the documents. We can show you. The fire rating, any permeability, all of that. We've got it. So we do that so that we can stand behind our product and sell a high quality product and mean what we say. So yeah, it's almost a no-brainer, and the brand is just, it's not just the turf, it's the people behind it too. There's a great group of people, especially the corporate staff back in Dalton. Well, we're kind of spread out. We've got some folks that are remote, but even through Teams and Zoom and all that stuff, it's still, we don't miss a beat. And it's a great company to work for, a great culture and atmosphere. So, and you guys are reflecting that as well here in Utah, and that's why we really love that we've been able to partner with you guys.
We're just grateful to be part of the team.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, Jake, I don't know if Laura will remember this or not, but when we came out to Georgia, something she said stuck with me, and it was just kind of my selling point for SYNLawn, where I just thought, man, this is the team we want to be a part of. This is where we want to be.
Yeah.
She said, we were talking after a conference, and I was asking her, who are we doing this for? Like, what's the most important thing for you here at SYNLawn? And she said, the people. It's the people that we're serving, but it's also the people that are working in the company. Like this, I think of everybody that's, whether they're in the factory, working on the thatch, working on the pelt, like whatever it is, the teams out installing it, the teams and the families that we're selling it to.
Yep.
And that was, leads me to another thing that stuck with me. It was Joe Downs who said, we are selling happiness.
Yeah.
And it sounds super cheesy, right? You're selling happiness, but you know what?
Joe would say that.
Once you go out and you go out to a job, you go out to a family, and you sell them turf, and then you see their face light up as it's rolled out, as it gets installed, and they get so excited.
Yeah.
And they're just happy as could be.
That's true. You are in a sense selling happess.
It's a product you can feel good about.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time talking about how the footprint of SYNLawn, the footprint that we are leaving is minimal and compared to some of the other competitors out there, right?
Yeah.
And just the sustainability, all the things that the technologies, everything that's put into it, the testing, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's
really
an awesome product.
Yeah, it is. Yep. And I love it. Not just because I work, for the company. I'm one of those guys that if I don't feel right about something, I can't. I'm just not that kind of guy that's going to try to
stand behind it.
I'm not going to sell something if I can't really stand behind it.
Yeah,
type of thing.
You're telling us
you
you got a conscience, Jake.
Yeah, I've got a conscience. Some people may not believe that, but I do.
You got Jiminy Cricket sitting on your shoulder.
Yeah, I do. But I can honestly say that it really is the best brand, and we're honest when we're talking about the things that our turf can do, and it just makes my job so much easier. Because
for real.
The brand speaks for itself.
And another thing I've noticed is a lot of times people just have to experience it for the first time.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't, again, if you're looking into turf and you haven't actually seen in person SYNLawn before and felt it and seen the difference, it really does kind of, it took me back after seeing over 200 different samples and then seeing SYNLawn for the first time. I'm actually here experiencing all of them more than your average person would see and experience, and it's like, wow, that is what I'm putting in my yard.
It says something, right?
It really does.
For sure. Yep.
There's a specific product that's doing really well in Utah right now called Sin Blue 745 because it's confusing people. They think it's real grass.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we've had stories of guys send someone, hey, go check out this job we did, and the guy's calling them back saying, you sent me to the wrong house.
Yeah, that's real grass.
That's the real thing.
Yeah.
What do you like? It really is that good.
He was ticked too.
He was.
He thought he was getting hoodwinked.
Did he? Yeah. Sin Blue's my favorite, man. I'll never forget the first time I saw it installed. I was in Chicago, and David Lashinsky, the sales guy up there. David, if you see this, how are you? I hope you're doing good, buddy. Took me to a little small residential yard that they did in a little neighborhood, and then I got about 10 or 12 feet away from it, and I could already tell. I was like, this turf is fantastic. I just love the way that it looks, and it's got that tan fiber in it, and
Yep.
it just makes it look super realistic. So that's my favorite out of all of them. It's the SYNLawn for sure.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And then for that luxury look, obviously X47, nothing really compares to putting something like that next to your pool and if you have a high-end house, like you got to have, or high-end like commercial building.
Yep.
That's the perfect match.
The way I like
right?
to put it is high-end brands like to mesh with high-end brands, right? So, just like our out in Nevada, because of the water restrictions, I was able to go and see an Audi and Lamborghini dealership that installed our turf there because they realized, Lamborghinis, where are you going to go after a Lamborghini, right? That's pretty...
Yeah.
It's pretty luxury, right? So they want to align themselves with other luxury brands, and so that's where SYNLawn came in. They realized the value.
There's no
and what we
better
could do.
choice.
Yeah,
It speaks for itself.
absolutely.
At that point.
Yeah,
It's a no-brainer.
yeah. It really
And
is.
the nice thing is there really is actually more budget friendly options as well. Don't
Yeah.
think it if you can't get a Lamborghini, that's okay as well, because we have applications that are more affordable as well.
We've got some
So-
Geo Metros and Toyota Corollas out there. No,
Last a lifetime. Great resale.
I'm going to make somebody mad that drives a Corolla. But no, yeah, you're right. If you're a landlord and you own rental housing, and you're just wanting a solution, we've like I said earlier, we've got something for every project that you can think of.
And another thing is probably the best in the industry manufacturer backed warranty,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
That's
Unmatched.
that's unmatched from the
Yeah,
research
best
we've done
warranty
as
ever.
well.
Yep, absolutely.
So
Nice
just
to throw that.
SYNLawn will just check every box.
That's
You'll feel
right.
good. You'll feel good about your purchase.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd love to get into a little bit about you specifically, Jake,
Oh.
like your role at SYNLawn, and have you had different roles there, and kind of how has
Yeah.
that gone for you?
Sure. Yeah, I started with SYNLawn 6 years ago in the national accounts department. So I was handling like Lowe's and Home Depot, those accounts. And I did that for 3 years. And so my current position is sales support.
Okay.
So I'm on the sales support staff, and there's 6 of us now on sales support. When I started, there were, I think, 3 of us.
Okay.
And that's been within the last 3 years.
So
So
it's been growing pretty quick.
we've had to grow that department because the network is growing. So I did national accounts for 3 years, and then this position on the sales support staff came open, and everybody encouraged me to apply for it, and I did, and here I am 3 years later. So I've been doing this for 3 years. I absolutely love it. Specifically, what I do to help you guys and other distributors, one of my main focuses is a platform called Construct Connect.
Okay.
It's a lead platform, and it tracks all of North America. So I've even got a couple of accounts in Canada that use it as well. It's basically a platform that we use to find leads for commercial projects. And so part of my job is to, if you guys have an account, I'm going to be there to help train you and guide you through how to use it, be more efficient, get your processes down so that you're not wasting so much time, so that you're getting the stuff in front of you that you need to see. And then provide support through that. And it's also a good place to pull a lot of data as well. There's a data side to it that is also beneficial to distributors, because I can kind of take a look at the current market situation in your area, like specifications, who's getting specified, is it a competitor? We track turf, we track pour in place, because we do offer pour in place as well. A lot of keywords built into it so that I can kind of cast a big wide net to try to pull in what you guys need to see. So it's a really great platform. We love it. And I think since I've started, I think we've just about doubled the number of people that are using it now. So that's a good thing. I think all of our distributors should be on it. So I'm still working on that. So there's a few out there. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And then the other thing that I do is I head up our cooperative purchasing program. So cooperative purchasing is schools and municipalities that buy anything from paper and pens, toilet paper, whatever, will use cooperative purchasing contracts. It's basically so that they can get what they need at a not to exceed price level.
Okay.
So it kind of keeps the cost down for these entities, and we're available on cooperative purchasing contracts. A lot of people don't know that, and that's part of my job is to educate you guys so you can go and educate the people out there that use these contracts. So the way that the contracts work, it's real simple. It's actually through our sister company, AstroTurf. So if you go out, say, and look for Sourcewell or Omnia, those are some big national contracts. SYNLawn won't be listed under there. It'll be AstroTurf. We piggyback off of the AstroTurf brand, AstroTurf name for those contracts. And you just we have the products. We have a list of products that are available through those contracts. They figure out. You talk to them, figure out what they need, and you get a contract number and send it in. It's super easy, and the schools love it because they don't have to send these projects out to bid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of hassle to have to get 3 and 4, bids on a project and have to go through them and vet them and all that stuff.
Totally.
We're already vetted. We've got, I can show you hundreds and hundreds of schools that we've done through cooperative purchasing.
Wow.
So yeah, if you're out there and you're looking for some kind of solution, like I said, not only schools but municipalities, government entities can use it as well. So
do we oftentimes need to educate the schools on how they access that information, or do most of them know where they're how they're cooperative purchasing?
A lot of time you're going to have like a purchasing department.
Okay.
And they're the ones that are going to be handling these contracts. So they're going to be familiar with contracts, and it may be, like I said, maybe one of the national ones. There are also state level contracts as well. We're available through those as well. So it's really just whatever they prefer to use, whatever contract they prefer to use. You just got to let them know that we're available on it. That's a lot of times that's just like a moment, right? They're like, "What? You guys are available through cooperative purchasing? Oh, thank you. It makes it so easy for them. Yeah. So it's just a matter of educating.
Yep. People learn about the product, about all the resources that we have, and makes it pretty easy for them to make a decision. And another group that really loves SYNLawn is architects for that reason, right? Mm-hmm. Because of all the information we can provide that make it so easy for them.
We make it so easy for them. Yeah, we absolutely do.
And you're speccing the best turf for, to create the best job. So why not? It's a good partnership.
Yep, for sure. Yeah.
Man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Just that customization too, for whatever it is that they need, whether it's rooftops, whether it's,
And that's the good thing about our network, right? So I was talking to you guys earlier about, you guys are starting to get into some rooftop stuff, and we've got guys that have been doing that for years. Anybody that out there in the network that has a question about a particular type of install, somebody in our network has done that.
And we get to reach out to all these other states who've been doing it for years for those projects.
Great big family. And that's what I really love about it. Everybody's got everybody's back, So it's really, the people are just absolutely
which again should
fantastic.
Give the customer more comfort to know we're always going to get the job done right because of the network, because of the SYNLawn name. We stand behind our product. We stand behind what we're doing. And the combined experience of everyone in the SYNLawn network is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like the
hundreds and hundreds of
experts
years of experience between everybody. Yeah.
So
it's fantastic. But I just I want to thank you guys for for allowing me to come out here and doing this. And thanks George and Rob and Laura and everybody on the support staff and the corporate staff. You guys are the best, honestly. They're great, and you guys are guys are realizing that. Yeah, so,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
We appreciate it, Jake. We're glad you can come and join us. Come out to Utah and see the sites.
Yeah. Well, next time, maybe we can. If you want me back on, we can Zoom it. I'll
Absolutely.
Zoom in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for being our first guest on the SYNLawn Utah podcast that we're doing. So
This is great.
Thank you, my man.
No,
Thanks
thank
for coming
you.
out.
Yeah, for sure.